Hey friends, Wayne over here at the Ram Man Inc. Don't forget the ink. Mopar brake specialist, well hell, Fords too, and drive line component expert, especially hubs and locking hubs. Client bought this master cylinder. He's got like $1,000 in it. It's a 2229171. These were used on the 1970 E-bodies only. Although not the most expensive master cylinder in the world, very close. They're the most desirable because they were used on the TAs and the original AR cars, and they were introduced in January 1st. Those cars were introduced January of 1970, and they're quite rare and quite valuable, so people want to get the right master cylinder on the car. Here's another one, just came in for rebuild right here. You can see we've got our little Bendix jargon up at the top. That first line right there, some Bendix stuff. And if you'll see, I think there's like a 3 there. That means that it was assembled 1973 on that date, 176th day of 1973. That's when it was assembled. They hand stamp those things. The C stands for third shift, ABC. So this master cylinder coming in on this old boy is actually not the original one. What most people don't understand is Bendix couldn't keep up, number one, and so only the Bendix master cylinders actually had the Bendix logo on them. Now, all these original master cylinders, whether it be from them or another vendor, whatever, they all had those 7-digit casting numbers on there. I mean, I get these people that want to send in these junker master cylinders, say 298, made in the USA and all that old BS. Those are not original things. Those are from the auto parts store back in the day. So you don't want to spend no money on no trot line anchor. Only on original stuff. Now I had some of these NOS 171s. Of course you can tell that this thing's never been mounted. Look at the flange. Yeah, you know, that's a telltale sign. This thing's never been on no car. We need to argue about whether it was or whether it wasn't. And I had a few of these laying around. I got them on trade out of, oh boy. So anyway, you spend that kind of money, hell, we got to check, make sure the damn thing works, right? So we've got it all stuck together and got some fluid in here. And of course now it's been setting about a week. Well, that's not true. 3 or 4 days. I got behind. You can see that it's not leaking fluid out of the back of that wiper seal. And of course we're using .3 fluid. That's the only thing approved in these original brake components is .3. You can do .4. It's just a higher quality blend, but it's still a mineral spirit base. But boys, you boys running this .5 in your cars, you're asking for trouble because when it mixes with that .3, and depending on the rubber, where it's at, whether it be a prop valve, wherever, that thing can swell and drag, and you're just asking for trouble. And anybody that's running .5 in my stuff, they ain't got any warranty left. No. As soon as I hear you're running .5, we're done. All you can do after that contamination's completely flush that brake system or that component with rubbing alcohol, denatured alcohol, whatever you want to call it, 2 or 3 times and flush that old bullshit out. And then pray to God that they don't drag. So we got it hooked up. I like to use the original tubes on here. You can use the little bench tubes that we send, of course, and they work just well doing your spot check or whatever, bench bleeding the master cylinder. This will save you some time if you'll do it real quick, because it gets all the air out of the master cylinder. You see these little gadgets right there, they just push into the brass seats or whatever and work pretty well. Not absolutely perfect, because you don't get a perfect seal, but you can get this thing. I'm looking to check it 100%. No dragging, no catching any air bubbles. Here's what a lot of people don't understand. You can have you a leak that is so small that you won't see any evidence of fluid. Yeah. But what that bad boy will do is it'll suck one little small bubble of air on that return stroke. Think about it, friends. You're pushing that fluid out, and then on the return stroke, it's going, yeah, it's sucking. It's sucking, and it don't give a damn if it sucks fluid or sucks air. It wants to suck. I don't have anything that wants to suck right now. But anyway, master cylinder wants to suck on the return stroke. So, I had some old boys up in Indianapolis. They couldn't bleed this thing. They couldn't get this convertible 500 to bleed for nothing. Bleed. Argued with me. It can't be. They flew me up there. We threw that thing up there on the rack. I'm up underneath it with that TA valve and all that. And they're pressing on the brakes. And I hear this real faint. Yeah. One of the little fittings right there was leaking right there at that combo valve or whatever. That's what you run into with that damn stainless steel. Yeah, that stainless steel is hard and it won't give. I mean, you've got cast iron, which is soft, brass seats or whatever. Sometimes that, boy, I won't have anything to do with stainless steel lines either. You know, just won't do it. That's just like that brake fluid. You know, if you're trying to stop from losing your paint by changing the brake fluid, my old man would say, well, why are you losing brake fluid? Why don't you fix the MF leak first? Yeah, so I never did get with that. Anyway, let's see if this thing works. Enough of that old BS. You guys are ready to get to the, I don't know, get to work. So, whoop. See that geyser right there in the front? Do you know what that means? Well, I'm going to tell you what it means. That means that residual pressure valve right there in the front port to keep them wheel cylinders going and keep from sucking air. They use them things. That's what that thing's, that's why you're getting that little geyser. That means the damn thing's working right there. Isn't that ingenious? Some of these old boys, if they had a service manual, oh man, I can't imagine anybody working on one of these cars ain't got no service manual. Especially back in my day, hell, they was $200-300 or whatever. Now they got them reprints for $40. Tells you everything you want to know. I mean, good God Almighty. Can you imagine not having a service manual on a vehicle? I don't know what gets in folks sometimes. And when I tell them, they just look at me with a blank stare. Anyway, yeah, it mentions that right there. It says when you see that geyser, you know damn thing's working. You can do this on the car or off the car. So, anyway, look at that. We got really good fluid flow. It's very, very smooth. The pistons are really smooth. Let's check for, let's see what we got, boss. There we go. We've got pretty good fluid flow there. Let's check this primary here. Look at that stream. Did you see that stream? That right there tells you the damn thing works, doesn't it? Sure does. Look at that. Let's do it again. Yeah. Alright. I'm going to send this master cylinder off and I know for a fact that it works, and it works great. Now remember now, these original master cylinders, 69 and up, it said use only SAE J1703 brake fluid. That was just the part number back in the day for .3. Yeah. And before that, the early ones, 67, 68 lids, and early 69s. What'd they say? They said 70 R3. So that's how you can tell if one of these high-end Mopars has got the right stuff on there, or just some old bullshit. You right? Yeah. Because that tells you a lot, having the right lid on there. Alright, this old boy's got one of the finest 222-9171 master cylinders in the world. It's going to work. Nobody's going to make fun of him. And he just added several $1,000s to his car, because when you get that thing appraised and you want to sell it one day and you got one of these high-end dudes coming out there to look at it, they see some old bullshit master cylinder on there, some old jury rigging, monkey rigging, South Birmingham engineering. They gonna look that car over with a fine-tuned comb, and you just went from 110. I saw one go all the way down to 80. Showed it right in front of my eyes at Carlisle. Had some old BS on there. Alright, God bless you. God bless America. And happy Mopar. Bye.